Those karmic bonds, they are so hard
Mm-hmm.
to resist, right? I mean, you're magnetized. You're pulled together in a way that it's painful when you separate, and
I have had to really fall in love with myself. And that's been the most difficult part of my journey is loving myself. Loving others, loving God, all that has come much more easily than loving myself.
Radha Rose. What a gift to have you here today.
Thank you.
A name like Radha. Was that your given name?
No, there's a story.
I imagine it's much different than growing up in Alpharetta.
Yes. But here we are in Alpharetta. Well, first of all, thank you, Rabia, for inviting me into your space, into your sacred sanctuary. I feel very at home. And I think even beyond raising our voices together, the intention that we can embody as a collective and these circles, these kirtans, these community gatherings that bring us together is to come home to ourselves.
Beautiful. You know what's really amazing, Radha? Is that where you went to visit for your most recent sacred pilgrimage in Uttar Pradesh,
Yes.
the home of Radha, right? And Krishna.
Yep.
And do you know what's amazing is when I was learning about you, that you are from the same place that my grandfather's family was from, but they moved after the partition to Pakistan. And I've never visited Uttar Pradesh. But here you are. Isn't this so beautiful? Bringing the transmission and the message of bhakti, love, devotion, and it's coming here through you in this space. Look how beautiful life is. I've never visited. And
I think you have to now.
I think I have to in this 3D life, but obviously in other parallel lives, I've been there, and that's what brings us into alignment today. So I'm so excited to learn from you, receive transmissions from you, and let whatever flows, from your heart and from your voice to guide me today. Are you open to that?
Yes, may we all be divinely guided.
Okay. Would you like to begin with sharing more about cosmic sound and healing and what it's meant for you and why you're on this mission to heal the world with it?
One could look at what I do in the community as it being a sound healing mission to heal the world with sound. That is part of the mission. But I would say ultimately the mission is to restore people's spiritual connection in this material world. Because it's so easy to forget our natural spiritual connection. And the way we do that is through sound healing and the voice. And you mentioned Bhakti, love. Bhakti is the yoga of devotion. And it's said to be the most recommended path of yoga in this age, the Kali Yuga.
Share more about that.
Oh, the Kali Yuga. So I know you love the goddess Kali, and I want to go ahead and say this Kali is different. This is a demon Kali that the Kali Yuga is named after, not the goddess. And the Kali Yuga is said to be this time we're living in, the Iron Age, and it lasts for a very, very long time. And this was prophesied by yogic mystics way beyond our years here on Earth. And they proclaimed that we were going to undergo conflict and strife over petty matters. Lives will be shortened. The world will have climate change. Things we're experiencing right now. And it sounds sad when you read it at first glimpse, but when you're able to understand that there's a context that we're living in that we can begin to work with and be honest with ourselves about, it actually can be easier in this age to become a liberated soul when we are acting out of devotion And that's what Bhakti Yoga is for. It gives us a path of devotional service to the highest of the high, whether it's through helping others sing the way I do. It could be serving the needy. It could be chanting meditation, mantra meditation, Hare Krishna, or another mantra, just something that opens your heart space. That's bhakti, when you feel your heart open. And that's what's going to liberate souls on this planet during this Kali Yuga time period.
Yeah. And it's that connection to the divine that's within us. It's our own divinity. It's awakening to our own divinity and our own sovereignty that's been there all along, that we've just been cut off from. And what's so beautiful about Kirtan, because I've been in rooms. I've been in rooms where I might be the only Indian person, and I'm like, wow, these are all people from the West, and they are singing mantras in Sanskrit. But their energy and the love that is infusing their bodies and their movement, there's no mistaking that they are connected to the divinity within and then to cosmic divine. And that's what's so beautiful about these codes. That's what's so beautiful about this work that you're doing, is that without even telling people what the intention is, they are infused with this bhakti devotion. And it moves through, I mean, and I, of course, have been experiencing it for years, but it moves through people who've never even heard the language.
When we sing mantras, there's pure vowels, there's a pure heartedness that comes through.
I say, let's dig in. Let's go to the joy.
Sure. Yeah.
Any moment of life that's not engaged in samadhi, right? It's like, it's so nice to always return to that. So would love for you to lead maybe some chant or wherever you'd like to start.
Yeah, so we were speaking about Vrindavan, India earlier, and this mantra that I'm about to share that is called Vrindavan Hare Krishna, or Vrindavan Maha Mantra, Maha meaning great, the great mantra, the mantra of deliverance, Hare Krishna. And the reason this original arrangement is called the Vrindavan Hare Krishna is because when I was there for 2 weeks with my husband on a pilgrimage this November, there was this amazing Kirtan wala, or Kirtan singer, who introduced part of the melody, which you'll hear. See if you can catch it. It's at the end of the phrase. Hare Hare. That is the inspiration for the entire arrangement. And it helps me come back again and again to that sacred place that we visited.
I would love to hear from you for your own life. What have your demons been?
The teacher who really taught me a lot of my songs that I play on the drum and mantras too, he was an ayahuasca shaman. And I didn't know this when I met him. We were just friends. And he invited me to go on these medicine journeys with him. We got really close, and I felt a lot of loyalty to him, and I felt like I was learning so much from him, and I just treasured him so much. And I wanted to serve him and help his mission before I knew my mission. And I do think that there is a tendency, especially for us as women, to be completely willing to serve another person's mission that's not ours. And I was willing to do that. But ultimately, we ended up separating, parting ways, because he was threatened by my voice, by my truthfulness, my honesty with him. It was intimidating. And that was really hard for me to understand at the time, because I loved him a lot. I loved him so much. We've known each other in past lives. That's how I got my name Radha. He gave me a hypnosis session.
Oh, and those karmic bonds, they are so hard to resist, right? I mean, you're magnetized. You're pulled together in a way that it's painful when you separate, and it's incredible the amount of evolution and transformation those karmic bonds, these 3D bonds, like when we meet people on the earth and they present us with these huge psychological challenges that we have to overcome. They've been lifelong things that we've carried, sometimes from several lifetimes. And it sounds like for you, speaking your truth, using your voice without thinking about anybody else in that moment, without thinking about the impact and how it was going to make you feel with your partner at the time, right? And then here you are, you fully stepped into your voice, into your power, into your full embodiment, and look at the impact you're making. It's really phenomenal. And I think we in the spiritual world really struggle with interpersonal relationships.
Yes, I would agree. There's a fine balance between taking up space and taking up other people's space. We want to take up space in a way that is in organic harmony with others. We non-compete. I don't think there's any competition in spirituality.
No, we're all simply, it's just like a tulip and a rose, right? A tulip
Yes.
can't be a rose, and you get to be the rose and I get to be the tulip. And the more that you
I see it
shine,
more as a lotus.
the lotus. I'll take it. I love it. The more that I can see somebody like you shine and support what you're doing, right? There's going to be more healing in the world. And not coming from a selfish place of karma, but just supporting good happening in the world and healing happening in the world. It immediately supports anything that I'm trying to do,
Absolutely.
And so it's beautiful that you've come to this realization. That's pretty epic. It takes people sometimes lifetimes to figure that out.
Well, admittedly, it's felt like the divines dragged me into this at times.
Completely.
Kicking and screaming and all crying, all the things. But I think those tears that I've cried in resistance ultimately have served the highest good. And I mean that to say, something I often share at our Sisters of Song circles, which is our women's song circles, is that all the tears you've cried, all the low points you've felt, all the sadness, the agony, the loneliness, the anger, all of that, it's not without purpose. We are experiential beings in human bodies. And I find that with working with the voice, you learn that like all that you've experienced in here, if you don't give it a voice, yes, you will have disease. Yes, you will have pain and you will have emotional dysregulation. You have all of that. But when you give it a voice, whether it's sharing it with a friend like we are today, or singing, especially, is super cathartic. And I found that I think all those tears I've cried like transformed into my singing ability because I didn't sing for most of my life. And so I think that deep feeling, like people who are deep feelers, maybe empaths, highly sensitive people, are naturally more advantaged when it comes to music and sound healing because they can feel into the vibrations.
Beautiful, beautiful. Would love to see what else you have up your sleeve. What else do you work with for cosmic healing and sound during your sacred circles, your song circles, your retreats?
Yes, there's so many different types of sound tools, instruments, and one of my personal favorites is this Shruti box. Shruti, Shruti, which means wisdom in Sanskrit, the ancient yogic language that we use for mantra singing. And so you could say this instrument is a wisdom box. And what I love about it is that it's so easy to play. It's such a good starter instrument for someone who's looking to not learn music theory. It has these amazing little holes, and when you open it up, they make a sound when you pump with your left hand and open these up with your right hand. Sound comes out like an accordion, and they're different pitches and half steps. So like C, C sharp D, D sharp E. But even if you don't know like the names of notes or anything, you can figure it out pretty easily, and it can serve as a drone for your voice.
So are these all instruments that are from India? Like they were originated, or are they from just like the Himalayan region?
So it's interesting. They are associated with Indian culture. However, from my research, it seems like the harmonium, which I will be sharing today, and it is based from England, but England colonized India and brought over the harmonium.
Interesting.
And so I would imagine the same is for this instrument.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Look at us melding cultures.
Yeah.
So I'm still so floored right now. It's so beautiful that I'm learning from you, you know. I'm Indian and you carry so much within you. It's just so beautiful to me. Go ahead.
When you open up the book of past lives, it changes your perspective on everything.
I love that you're a bridge builder. It's beautiful.
That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to open this up and let's see.
Beautiful.
It came in a meditation. I didn't know what it meant. And then I looked up on Google, did a Google search. I'm like, what is Yawananaya? What is that? And with some searching, I found that it is in a Native American dialect. It means like water, like mother water, especially.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is dedicated to the motherly spirit of the water that gives life to all life.
Beautiful, beautiful. I sit mesmerized, like I'm sitting mesmerized here with you about your story, your path, your journey, what you continue to do. Is there anything that you feel like you want to share about demons that other people, that was a beautiful story. Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that, related to your voice, or maybe related to just dynamics growing up in the world, being different. I know you've been a seer your whole life.
As have you.
Yeah.
And it's just, I do think there is an aspect of being born this way. Cue that song, Born This Way. I have had to really fall in love with myself. And that's been the most difficult part of my journey, is loving myself. Loving others, loving God, all of that has come much more easily than loving myself. And I think oftentimes when you're a seer, a visionary, someone who's bringing a new energy or flavor to the planet, you are definitely a being with a purpose. You have a dharma or a purpose, a mission, but you may not see it at first because you might feel rejected. And that's how I've often felt, is like people just don't understand my intentions, or like the reason I am expressing myself this way, or the project I'm doing, why it matters. But I know it matters, and I see that it matters when other people enter the space. And we enter the space like a circle, a ceremony, a retreat, excited, maybe a little nervous. But the real reward is the connection we craft over the course of maybe 2 hours at an event or days at a retreat. We leave that space feeling really seen and heard. And I think for most of my life, I didn't have spaces like that I felt seen and heard. And so now it's interesting that my mission is to do that, to create those spaces for other people to feel seen and heard.
Tell everybody about where they can learn more about the Radha Rose, and where to go to learn more about your retreats and all the good that you're doing.
Absolutely. So this year, our mission is to really deepen spiritual connection within the community. That's always been the mission, but we're doing that with more emphasis on mantra meditation and Kirtan. So for the next few months, we're going to be hosting a lot of different Kirtans at a lot of different studios in the Atlanta area, as well as Tennessee. We're going to be playing at festivals like Chattanooga Mushroom Festival, Dancing Tree, Atlanta, Gratitude Festival. So we're really, my husband who drums for me and sings too, we together do these Kirtan for the community.
I'm so grateful for this special time with you. I'm grateful for the energy you brought in here. It's a true blessing to just get to know you, and I'm excited to come support your work and support your Chant Southeast and your retreats and your concerts, your Kirtan and mantra concerts. Thank you so much, Radha.
Thank you for being open to me entering your space, for me sharing my story. I can't wait to keep following your story as you continue to have amazing podcast guests come and share the spiritual journey with everyone who's listening. And I just cannot wait to keep weaving this life with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rabia.
Oh, thank you, Radha.